Dave Reilly is used to thinking outside the box. He's grown figs, olives and bush tucker, and he and his wife Anita have also grown organic wine grapes near Berri in the South Australian Riverland. But with salinity levels continuing to rise in the Murray backwater they irrigate from, Dave and Anita searched for alternative crops that were more drought and salt tolerant. They decided on date palms, but they soon found there was little advice to be found at home.
When we began our investigations into date palm and the profitability associated with producing premium eating dates, there was no local examples of where that's been done and where it's working and the commercial viability of that. So basically, without the ability to look over somebody's fence to see how it was operating, we've taken that on ourselves.
Whilst there are over 200,000 hectares of premium dates grown in the United Arab Emirates alone, Australian dates barely cover 40 hectares. Because of failed attempts to utilise Australian cuttings to start their venture, the Reillys began a micro-propagation facility on their property using imported stock. The long, often challenging process has yet to bear actual fruit, but Dave's belief in dates as a drought-resistant, profitable crop is unwavering.
Where most other plant types are failing, the date palm can produce and bear fruit with larger amounts of salinity. The other virtue is the date palm's got the ability that if you do turn the water off them, they are drought tolerant. So it's not desirable, but if you had to turn the water off them, we can fire them up again later down the track and they'll still run into fruit pretty quickly. They're very opportunistic. They'll take water when it's there, but when it's dry, they'll live off the fat, if you like, from the years where there has been good water around.
In developing an industry virtually from scratch, the Reillys have had help along the way from the University of Adelaide and funding from the Australian Government's New Industries Development Program. With this funding, Dave and Anita have been able to set up a nursery and tissue culture lab, as well as travel to the Arab Gulf to research export opportunities. Dave says Australia is well placed for the date export market due to its ability to provide counter-seasonal fruit overseas.
Our travels through the Arab Gulf countries, or in particular the United Arab Emirates, indicate to us that there is a place for counter-seasonal fruit production, and certainly as import replacement, where Australia imports something like 7,000 tonnes of fruit a year. Currently there's only one variety in particular that's coming in, the medjool, usually from California. We see ourselves as providing multiple varieties of interest.
With the date industry in Australia growing slowly but surely, other industries are beginning to take advantage of the benefits of growing date palms. Alexandra Tucker is the environmental manager for Berri Estates, part of the Hardy's Wine Company.
As you can imagine, with making wines, it's a lot of water's involved. When we crush the grapes right at the start of the crushes, we have to use water, and then water's used for pushing the juice around the site and cleaning, obviously, as well. So we actually end up with a lot of wastewater at the end of the train, and we have to dispose of that. There are very strict EPA regulations in SA as to where we're actually allowed to dispose of that water and what condition that water has to be in.
To help dispose of that wastewater, Berri Estates operates a 40-hectare woodlot, mainly red gum and casuarina. But excess water in winter from the winery and short lifespans in the trees have forced alternative crops to be trialled. And Alex Tucker says date palms are proving to be successful.
They're very high water uses, which is great for us, for our periods where we have a lot of wastewater that we have to get rid of. They also cope very well in periods where we don't have a lot of wastewater and we have a dry period.
Although an active date palm industry is still a way off in Australia, date palms are proving to be a hardy, viable answer for a wide range of applications. After all, they've survived in some of the harshest environments on Earth. With climate changes predicted that will see harsher conditions for much of rural Australia, Dave Reilly is confident the date palm industry will grow in acceptance.
It's possibly the last crop that will be there and producing. A lot of crops will fail where the date palm will still be there, and that offers a lot of security.